And Liverpool's king to the top are champions of Europe once again.
Welcome to Dreams and Songs to Sing podcast, and we are back with a special. It's going to be 11, our all-time Premiership 11, but we're going to pick cult players. And I thought I could only pick one member of our esteemed team to do this with me, a cult man in his own right, Mr. Stewie Curran.
Hello. How art thou?
Stewie, I think it's important to get this out of the way first of all. What is a cult player?
Well, you would send me a message during the week saying that you had picked your 11 and that it was quite hard. And in my head, I was thinking, no, it can't be that hard. So stupidly, I put it off until about an hour and a half ago. And then I had to ask myself that question: what is a cult hero? And how would I define it? So I kind of came to the conclusion, you could consider, say, someone like Gary McAllister or Luis Garcia. You might consider them a cult hero. But for me, I'm thinking their kind of skill level, technique, and contributions to a lesser extent might kind of raise them up out of the underrated cult hero, you might say. So for my 11, I've gone for more of an undervalued and underappreciated. And I suppose there's some of them, there's a slight comedic element to it. You might say there's some of these players, in fact, probably, I'd say most of them have all been ridiculed by opposing fans at some stage as well. But sometimes that's kind of, you'll defend. I would always defend players like that till the death, especially when you're going up against, opposing teams' fans, the United fans in particular. So I've kind of gone for an underrated, underappreciated, comedic value for mine. That's my cult hero.
In a nutshell, kind of shit, but we still love him anyway.
That's it in a nutshell. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, exactamente. All right.
That's not a spoiler alert, by the way.
We're going to get cracking in a minute, but I'm sure you've noticed every time we do these shows, I unfairly kind of spring a question on you, like, what's your favorite Blur song? Even more important questions like Weetabix, hot or cold, would you touch it? And you've been a good sport. You've always kind of like given your best answer when I'm putting you on the spot. So I've been getting thousands upon thousands of tweets and emails from people saying that's unfair, enough of that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to double down and give you as many as I can in 90 seconds, right? This is a segment I have called, and you've no idea what I'm talking about. I'm springing this on you last minute. This is a segment I like to call Where Do You Stand On, right? So I'm going to give you a selection of people, situation, and you have to tell me how you feel about these people. You can say it in one word, in one sentence, 2 sentences. You can give me a thesis if you want. Just see how many you can get in 90 seconds. Do you accept this challenge? All right. So the imaginary clock that doesn't really exist starts now. Where do you stand on blokes who shave their armpits?
It's a huge no.
Okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. Well,
hang on. I've got a thesis on this.
Okay, go for it. Give me the section.
Didn't David Beckham do it before? And then he realised that there was an issue with sweat or something. There's hair on your armpits for a reason.
But this is a bloke who got braids and then bleached them. So that's not the stupidest thing he ever did.
Yeah, let's end the thesis there.
Blokes who put their girlfriend's name as Babe in their phone.
Didn't David Beckham once put Victoria Beckham?
So you're going to have to let Beckham go at some point, right?
Maybe I can relate every single answer back.
I think by the tone of your voice, I'm sensing you've got your wife's name as Babe in your phone. All right, people who put chips on their burgers.
Oh, that's outrageous. That's absolutely outrageous. A burger's a burger. Chips are chips. Now, I'm not one of these people. There's certain types of people that will eat all their chips before they actually go near the burger, which is that's the opposite end of the spectrum, I suppose. But no, chips on a burger.
Men who spend far too long walking around locker rooms naked.
Yeah, I've been in locker rooms with men like that, and it's very, very uncomfortable. Look, I know we all have to get naked with other men at certain stages of our lives and certain situations, but no, there's
do you notice they're always looking for something? The lads who are naked, like they forget they're naked, and then they're like, where are those socks? And they're bending over, like looking behind benches. Yeah, all right, I think we've got time for a couple more. People who say Bob Marley is the all-time legend of music, but they actually only know 6 songs off his greatest hits.
Yeah, another no. You know, there was a guy, I won't name him on this, but I remember a funny incident. We were teenagers, and one of the lads had mentioned to us recently that he was getting into a lot of reggae. Right. So, you know,
when they say reggae, they just mean Bob Marley.
Well, that's what we thought, but we said, yeah, really, yeah. And he goes, yeah, getting mad into Sean Paul. So, you know, I take them over people who listen to Sean Paul and pass.
The Sean Paul, the 21st century version of Shaggy. All right, let's get cracking on the 11. Right, I'm going to be a gentleman and let you go first. So, the goalkeeper for me, this was the easiest one. So, who was your choice for cult Liverpool goalkeeper in the Premiership era?
Yeah, for me, it was an easy one as well, and it's just simply because I went for it. You know, the underrated, underappreciated, really often ridiculed by opposing teams' fans, and this guy.
This doesn't sound like my choice then. All right, go.
This because of an unfortunate mistake he made when he let a Diego Forlan shot slip under him. You know, you still have to listen to nonsense from United fans about Jersey Dudek.
Right. Okay. Well, this is awkward because I went for a man who, if we had have just given him another 20 minutes, basically, we would have seen he was a good goalkeeper. He came in to replace a joker of a goalkeeper at a time where we were losing leagues and cups literally to him. Brought in Brad Friedel, which sounded a little bit suspicious. You know, he came from Columbus Crew. I mean, just name your team Columbus. I mean, you know,
it sounds like a hair product.
Yeah, it sounds like some sort of weird fraternity.
Didn't David Beckham have a hair product?
Well, basically, nobody can. Okay, so Friedel came in, he didn't set the world on fire, but to the point where we basically threw him back up into the attic and put James back in goal, and then everybody saw that he actually was a very good goalkeeper. And ironically, he was better than what came after him in terms of Westerveld, Carson, Corkland, and your mate Jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely agree with that. He was kind of, I agree with you with if you just given him a little bit more time, you would have seen exactly how.
But I get what you mean by cut, because Jersey, you know, he had the wobbly legs, and he won us a Champions League, a year after making horrendous mistakes. So I mean,
there was also the League Cup final against United as well. Remember, I think Ferguson came out and said he was man of the match.
Well, it's forgotten now, but he had a great 4th season for us. Like, we came second, and he came with a big reputation, and he had a good start to the next season. But it was just that mistake against Man United, which by bad goalkeeper, like, I look at that one, and if you think like the ones that go through a goalkeeper's legs, like Taibbi, that's kind of like, okay, everyone has done that at one stage of life. A ball goes through their legs, but the ball is coming in the air. I don't know how he manages to, because he somehow catches it, and then it looks like some match fitness going on. I've seen the footage of Bruce Grobbelaar, and that doesn't look as damning as that. So
yeah. There was actually, funny enough, you mentioned, I was actually watching John Barnes on Gary Neville's Soccer Box last night, and they had a kind of climax with the 4-3 in Newcastle against Newcastle. Sorry. And I think it was it the Ferdinand goal that just goes through James in such a strange way, where he puts his hands up and it goes right through it. It just. But
the thing is, no, everybody forgets as well, like the Espria goal. They talk about how beautifully he took that. James comes out of his box and he tries to stop the ball with his face, and it's like, mate, you've given him a target. Like, he was clean through, fair enough, but you've come out of your goal. And it's like James used to, like, as soon as he got out of his box, he realised, oh shit, I can't touch this with my hands. And if you look at that goal again, it's a beautiful finish, and that's what everyone goes on about. But James actually tries to stop it with his face. And anyway, listen, we're going to talk about David James, and we do that every single time we turn this on. So let's just move on. All right, left back. I'm proud of my left back choice because
Can we get? I don't just. Could we get an honourable mention for Jose Enrique? Remember, he went in nets against Newcastle.
Well, if we're going to go down that road, Steve Staunton's going to get one because he came in. He went in when Westerveld lost to Franny Jeffers and made an absolute cracking save. And then, ironically, was never seen again in the Liverpool shore. All right, so I'm going to go for my left back, and this is a bit of a hipster choice because I don't think anyone remembers this man playing at left back. But he played there for one season, was absolutely brilliant. And then we sold him. It wasn't because he wasn't even a left back. He basically was doing a James Milner at the time. And then we sold him. He went on to have a very good career. And we bought Christian Ziege in his place. The man I'm talking about is luckily still alive after his health scare recently, as Dominic Matteo.
Well, yeah, he was one I had considered as a centre-back for my 11.
Right.
Again, yeah, probably a hipsterish choice from you. Left
But
back.
you decided to go for, let me guess, Albert Moreno.
No.
He's not cold. He's another word that's close to cold.
Again, there was probably some sort of requirement to get into my cult team, and it was probably you don't have my anger level above 90 for 9 out of the 10 games you play.
You know what? I have Liverpool lifting the Champions League trophy as my screensaver, and it's only recently, I look at it literally every day when I turn my computer on, and it's only when I look at it now I realise Albert Moreno is standing smack right in the middle of it with a big white T-shirt, like he's going absolutely mad. And if you look at the photo, you can't see Van Dijk at all. You can't see Klopp. You can kind of see Salah poking his head through Moreno's arms. Like, Moreno, when did he last play? Let's not go into that actually either. But it's just like he thought, I'm heading out of this club. I've been paid to be on Instagram for the last 2 years. I've been paid 56. I say his salary actually was ridiculous. And he thought, I've just got to... This photo is going to be on lads' screensavers and phones and magazines and books. It's going to be on the wall at Anfield, and he jumps out with his big white T-shirt, and and you're looking at him more than you're looking at the cup.
It's an example of kind of smarts that none of us ever knew he had. Really,
he's crazy like a fox. Well, who's your left back?
It's no question. It's Jimmy Traore.
Right.
Got to be in there.
What's your favorite Jimmy Traore memory?
Now that we can all laugh about it, was probably the Cruyff, Zidane, Marseille backheel goal that he scored.
What was he trying that night? What was he trying?
I don't even think Traore knows to this day what
he did that in the start of 2005, and we sold him in the summer of 2006. So to think that you pirouette into a goal and you go on to play and win a European Cup after that, and then another full season on the back of that as well. But I have a confession with Jimmy Traore. Every once in a while, when a player comes along and you kind of want to get there first, you kind of want to say, I want to be the one who said, because you can never see it at first, you know what I mean? Even the commentator's big enough, you can, I remember seeing Messi, the first time I ever saw Messi was on his debut, and he scored on his debut, and I was thinking, yeah, Saviola and Bojan and all these, I was just like, no, just don't say anything. Jimmy Traore, I couldn't help myself, and I could just say I thought he was a great defender. Not only did I predict he was going to be a great player, I actually said a specific player. I said he is going to be the next Lilian Thuram.
Wow.
I just based it on the fact that he looked big and he was from France and he was young, and I just thought, go for it. And everybody just kind of looked at me, and nobody could deny it because we hadn't seen him yet. And I was thinking, just wait for the chickens to come home to roost. And then, as you said, pirouettes into his goal. I said, that's not Lilian Thuram. That's not Lily Savage. That's just a clown, an imposter in a Liverpool jersey. So, yeah, he's a cult hero.
Yeah, and people forget that he was actually getting subbed off at halftime in the Champions League final until the physio informed Rafa that Finnan was in trouble.
He was literally in the showers, wasn't he?
He was in the showers, yeah. Now he could have walked into the showers before he even knew he was being told to come off.
But
probably pirouetted into the showers.
He got lost there. But it just came into my head. I've watched that final a million times at this stage, and if you think about it, as much as Stevie was a big part of it, and everyone was a big part of it, you know, Cara, that final was all about redemption, right? Jersey Dudek, it's our last memory of Jersey Dudek. If he hadn't have played in that game, we'd be thinking the Forlan would be his last contribution.
Yeah.
Vladimir Smicer was ultimately a disappointment, considering that we gave him the number 7. Sure, he wasn't the player. He was always injured. He scores the last winning penalty. Djibril Cissé, who I don't think many people were convinced before his leg break or after his leg break, he scores in the penalty shootout. Milan Barros is the sole striker who plays for the majority of the game, sets up the Gerrard penalty. And Jimmy Traore, when he clears it off the line from Shevchenko,
Yeah.
he just he smashes the post with his feet, and he's just like, it's like he's saying like, there you fucking go. Like it was the same side of the goal where he pirouetted as well. It's like he's saying, there's your pirouette, lads. You see? It was like he was looking over at the camera and going, Lilian Thuram.
But it was like, yeah, we talked about it in the Champions League final show we did, where we kind of, you know, the Dudek double save gets mentioned an awful lot. But the Shevchenko block from Traore doesn't get mentioned enough for me, because it was only in the build up to that show where I watched the highlights again, and I'd completely forgotten about it as well. But we looked at them when we all said that when Dudek pulled off the double save, that was kind of the moment where you're thinking, it's gonna be our night. That was another red flag, you might say, with Traore's.
And obviously, if Milan had got another one, Liverpool had. We'd used the ball a look as far as the other end went. Like we needed to just hang in there for penalties. All right, that's our left back. Right back. Again, yeah, I've kind of gone for an underappreciated. There was never really any comedy about him, but underappreciated, maybe undervalued. For me, I've gone for Alvaro Arbeloa. Yeah, I mean, I was going to go for Glenn Johnson because he must have been doing something right at Liverpool, because he clearly wasn't the player we thought he'd be. By the way, I didn't go for Glenn Johnson, but I'll just quickly say my piece for him. Where, like, you know, we expected big things, but he ultimately, you know, he wasn't a 20 million player, let me put it that way. But I think Steven Gerrard, I never forget this. He put him in his all-time five-a-side Liverpool his all-time Liverpool 11 that had played during his Liverpool career. He put Glenn Johnson in ahead of Steve Finn and Arbeloa. So, I mean, he must have been doing something right. I mean, Kenny picked him, Rodgers picked him. He was signed by Rafa. So, I mean, he must have been. But anyway, I don't even know what I'm going to. I went on Glenn Johnson.
It was Johnson that replaced Arbeloa, basically, wasn't it?
It was, but my choice is a man that we actually talked about earlier today, who only scored 3 goals for Liverpool his whole Liverpool career, and they were all wonder goals. And he was only fit for about, in a total, considering he was at the club for about 4 years, I think he was fit for a total of about 40 to 45 minutes. And that's Vegard Hegem. Look, well, I
wouldn't argue with his inclusion.
He kind of sums up Liverpool in the 90s, though, because we were conceding. We were always involved in 3-3s and 4-3s, and you know, we were letting mediocre teams score against us. And Roy Evans thought, well, the best thing to do is to sign a right back who's clearly attack minded. At a time where that wasn't the weakest position, we needed a new goalkeeper, we needed a centre half. So we signed Hegem, and he looked fine, but then, you know, Evans lost his job. Houllier came in, and once Houllier came in, he was never going to last the way there. But he scored 3 goals in total, and 2 of them were unbelievable solo goals. I sent you one today. It's absolutely ridiculous goal. You know the goal I'm talking about, yeah?
I'd completely forgotten about it.
So
it blew me away just looking at it, because the finish is reminiscent of like a Michael Owen in his peak. Just to kind of,
it's like he's taking the piss with the finish.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's done the whole hard work. He's beat 3 or 4 players, and then it's just kind of like, you know what, fuck this. And it's not a dink as such. It's like it's impudence. It's pure impudence, and this is coming from a right back.
We're not going to talk too much about Arbeloa, because let's face it, the lad played for Real Madrid twice, played for us, played for Spain, I think. But the last, do you remember pretty much the last thing he did in the Liverpool jersey? It involved Jamie Carragher.
Oh, they had a big row, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did have a row. Was it against Burnley or someone?
West Brom, I think it was.
Yeah, they had a big. Yeah, one of the things that stood out for me when I was thinking of Arbeloa was, if you remember, one of his very early games, it might even have been his full debut, was in the Nou Camp.
That's right.
Against Barcelona, and Rafa started him at left back because Messi was out there, and he thought we'd be coming in on Arbeloa's right side, which is his stronger foot, and he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he was consistently brilliant for Liverpool. Yeah,
he was. But look, I'm happy to go with Weghorst.
Okay,
you charmed me.
Mine is just he's cultish. He's cultier. He's culter.
He is more cultier. Yeah. All right. He's more core-ish.
Let's go into our centre back, because we agree. I know for a fact we have the same choice for our centre back. It's the man who always seemed out of breath, had no pace, but never gets mentioned when talking about the greatest ever centre back pairing of. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's one of the best centre-back partnerships of the Premiership era, Mr. Stefan Ancho. So you, before we press record on this shindig, you told me your reason. So tell me again, why did you go for Stefan Ancho?
For me, as you said, when people mention great centre-back partnerships for Liverpool, one of the ones that gets mentioned the most is Carragher and Hyypiä, as opposed to Ancho and Hyypiä. But when you think of that treble year, the two of them were just absolutely incredible. And I think they both joined at the same time, didn't they? Was it 99, summer 99? They both joined, and it was
from a relegated team.
Ridiculous. Yeah, and it was the Blackburn had gone down, which is something we see now even with Klopp. Like, Liverpool just seem to have this knack of seeing the wheat in.
But I think back then we had no choice but to shop in that kind of tier, though.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But didn't we get the two of them? Was it 6 or 7 million for the two of them? Even back then, that's crazy, absolutely crazy. And Liverpool weren't that bad defensively the season before that. They'd only conceded 49, 50 goals. But when Ancho and Hyypiä came in, they conceded 30 goals in both. That was both their.
That's not good. In your eyes, 50 goals, conceding 50 goals in a season is not that bad.
Yeah,
that's average. It's averaging not far off 2 a game. All right. What's your favourite Ancho memory? I presume it's got to be the game where he stood, because he never scored for Liverpool. So your favourite memory of Ancho?
I have to say, the irony here is not lost on me as an Irishman. I'm still a huge fan of the handball in the FA Cup final against Henry.
Yeah,
that was huge. You could argue it's as big a contribution as Michael Owen that day.
I didn't see what the fuss what Henry was making when it first happened, because the angle was a bit.
The angle was it was.
And I was just like, get out of here! And then the angle comes around. It's like, oh my Jesus Christ! Because no other Arsenal player was around, so Henry just looked like this maniac who was claiming for handball. You're like, come on, get on with it, take your corner, or it's a goal kick, come off the post, and then the angle comes around. It's like, oh my God! If VAR was around, we would have lost that final comfortably. 1-0 down from that. Just get Westerveld to save a penalty. Best of luck with that. But Ancho, my memory of Ancho, him and Joe Cole, two players who never looked fit. They were always basically bending over, trying to catch their breath. That old trick where you pretend to pull the socks up. When you're out of breath.
Yeah, I've done it.
And this is like, mate, your socks are not that low. You've been pulling those socks there for about 2 minutes. But rosy cheeks. And actually, I don't know if you can pick it up now, but a lot of my mates said I looked like Stefan Ancho.
Yeah, there's a resemblance there. Yeah.
I look out of breath, and
you look out of breath. Your cheeks need to get a bit more rosier, so
I keep suspiciously bending over to pull up something there. So, all right, who's your other choice next to Stefan?
The other choice is probably, you might be considered cheating in a way. I've just kind of
Van Dijk
shoehorned them in. But it's fair to Van Dijk, No, It's
What a
Igor
hipster choice.
Biscan.
Ah, interesting. Okay, I
It's
was because
Igor.
I
I've
was
got to
going to put
put him in.
Igor in midfield because I went for the centre back version of Igor. I went for Klavan.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between the two of them.
Yeah, just like, and you know the thing about some players, like if they're a victim to their name, like Klavan and Bishkan. There's something about the like Igor, like your first name is Igor. Like he
You're
couldn't
already.
like Gonzalez, Raul, Zinedine Zidane, Christian. Those names just kind of they sound like if you'd never seen football before, you'd be like, I bet they're good. But said, oh, we just signed a guy called Igor Bishkan.
Igor, yeah.
It just evokes straight away. It's like I bet he's gangly and kind of out of touch with the rest of the games. Like, that's it.
And that's exactly what he was. Yeah, he kind of looked to me. He always looked like he never looked like he was arsed, and he looked like he
looked like he just woke up in a bed as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked like
the hair.
Yeah, he looked like he worked in a hardware store in a small town in Offaly or something. He's probably the son of the owner.
Yeah,
always sleeps it out, turns up late, hair's all over the place, and doesn't have a fucking clue about hardware.
You know what the thing about Igor is though? I think he made his full debut at Old Trafford. And it was the day that we beat them for the first time in 6 years. And
coming up against Keane, and he was brilliant.
And that was kind of. But I tell you what, though, I've been watching a lot of like the old foot, like Liverpool website's been putting a lot of old shit up at the moment. And he had an all right season, he had an all right start, and then he disappeared. I can't remember seeing Igor for 2 or 3 years. But I tell you what, Liverpool are not winning that European Cup in Istanbul without Igor.
No, I agree. The reason I've kind of thrown him in is because you remember, I think it was 2002-03, and Ancho got injured for a good while.
I think you're thinking of when Hoopia was dropped and they put Igor in there.
Was that it?
There was an infamous game away to Sunderland, who were like by far the worst team, and Liverpool were playing so bad that Houllier thought, I'm going to drop my best defender. And Hoopia, and the Sky, never forget it, Sky cameras went to Hoopia sitting in the stands, and Bishkan played, and we lost. We lost to Sunderland, and that experiment was gone.
We didn't get into the Champions League. It was a disaster.
But the thing is, we're not winning that Champions League without Igor. I don't think he played 1 minute in the final, but he got his man of the match away at Deportivo in the group stage where we won. He was brilliant against Leverkusen. You forget he was on the pitch. I don't know if he played the whole 90 minutes against Chelsea in the semi-final.
Yeah.
Igor's going on the team. Don't get me wrong, but I just think Klavan.
Yeah, give me more. Give me more.
Well, Klavan played way more than was intended. You could tell, because I remember we signed him the same year as Matip, and Matip had a really good first year. But do you remember Cameroon? Called Matip up for the African nations, and Matip was like, "Nah, fuck that! Like, I'm done with that." Like, and they said, "All right, well, they sued him. They did something where he basically couldn't play for club or country. Yeah, this thing was getting sorted out." And I was tearing my hair out because Liverpool at the time we got beaten by Wolves at Anfield. Swansea beat us, and we had to go to Old Trafford. And this is the United team with Mourinho, Pogba, Ibrahimovic all in their first season. And I just thought, oh no! And Trent made his debut. We'd never heard of him though. We'd never seen Trent before. So Trent's playing at right back. Klavan's playing in the defence with Lovren. And I just thought, and this is before Robertson's there. So left back that day was Milner. So what a back line that is against Ibrahimovic. And then you got Mignolet in goals. And Liverpool were brilliant that day. We got a draw. And Klavan was brilliant as well. So he was just the kind of this is what I am, take it or leave it, And
he had that. Remember, he had that late winner against Burnley away.
Oh yeah.
You're thinking that's right. The game is gone. Yeah. And then he pops up with that winner, the header.
What was his first name? If only we had the internet to check. I think it's Ragnar. Ragnar, isn't
Ragnar. Yeah.
Did you not say that? No. I just call him Clavy. Clavy like to his mates. All right.
Ragnar and Igor.
Ragnar and Igor. It just sounds like some sort of horrible sitcom from like Slovenian TV or something. All right. The midfield is where it got complicated for me. I'll go first because this guy is playing left midfield, and he kind of played on the wing sometimes, but I think it was just more the fact that he was shit up front. So like Rafa will put him out in the wing, and it's Ryan Babel. Babel is a weird one. I love him to bits because he was just a bit of a I don't know. He put that tweet out about with the day that we got knocked out by United in the cup, and Howard Webb made a terrible decision, and he got fined about 50 grand for tweeting a picture of
Yeah.
Howard Webb in a Man United jersey.
Yeah.
But he was more effective on the wing than he was up front. He wasn't a striker. He couldn't score to save his life, and he had that great moment where he skinned, I think it was Sergio Ramos, with the night that we beat Madrid 4-0, where he skinned them, played it across, and Gerrard smacked it in. So Babel, I'm playing on the left wing. Who are you going for left midfield?
Again, you could probably say, well, I'm not cheating in a way. I'm shoehorning. And I'm going this guy. This is where the kind of comedic element comes into it. I don't think you could argue he was underappreciated or undervalued, but I'm simply plumping for this guy because of 4 days of dreamland that he had, and he gave us in 2009, and it's Andrea Dossena.
All right, Dossena. All right, so let's see. Talk me through those 4 days.
Well, if you think about it, he came in the summer, the previous summer, 2008, and I think was it Dagan and Ngo and Keane, were they the other signings that summer? So it was like
pretty much, yeah.
It was a really, really bad. It's up there with like kind of Keane is harsh because we know the whole Robbie Keane side, but it's probably up there with the Hodgson summer of like Cole, Paulson, and Konchesky.
But we sold Risa for him. Like he was Risa's replacement.
Yeah, and we as you say, we brought in for to replace Risa, but we had Aurelio there. Benitez loved Aurelio as well. Aurelio was class, which he was one I thought about as going into my defense as a left side defender, but I thought he came under the banner of just being
he's too good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's too good to be kind of like a cult hero.
You can't put him in there with Igor and Ragnar.
No, because it's not. You're talking, we need, I'm thinking police academy here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, he's probably too good looking. He's too skillful.
He'd look too good naked in the locker room.
Yeah, bending over, looking for things. Yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, you ever see that video of Igor in the dressing room after Istanbul? Have you seen that?
I have not. No.
There's a video of and this is like 2005, so the camera phones weren't that good. Thank the Lord for this, because it is pixelated. And someone's just cheering, and the Liverpool players are just dancing around, and Igor's in the background, bolloco, just getting ready to hit the showers, like not a care in the world. And you see the whole Igor, like it's all Igor. And I can't believe you never heard of that or seen that. Clearly, you don't go to nakedliverpoolplayers.com like I do, but this video was doing the rounds. And the usual suspects, Gerrard's just dancing with a cup, and in the background, Igor is just completely naked, not a care in the world. I mean, he wasn't probably used to like lads have like, now like when the cameras go into the dressing room, all the footballers have their phones out and they're making videos.
Yeah.
But back then, it was just like he's like, no one's gonna see this. Just gonna hit the showers while the lads are dancing, get a quick scrub. But what can I say? He's got a fairly big Super Cup. But anyway, let's go back to Andrea and his 4 days of 4 days.
It's 4 days, yeah. Because it was we hadn't seen much of him at all, and the glimpses you saw of him, it filled you with dread anytime he was on the pitch. If it was an important game, which was very, very, very rare, because he quite clearly wasn't up to it. He definitely falls into the as I said, he's not in the underappreciated, the undervalued category for me. But so it goes into the second leg in Anfield where we're playing Madrid, which was like, we got a very, very, very good 1-0. Well, very good, that's underselling it. Like, let's be honest. Winning 1-0 away at the Bernabeu in the Champions League is an incredible result. Benayoun got the winner there, but Real weren't at the level they were a couple of years previously. Yeah, they were definitely in transition. It was pre-Ronaldo as well with Real, but it was Real is Real. So I was very, very worried about that second leg, but you touched on it there earlier with like Ryan Babel is skinning lads and putting it onto a sixpence for Gerrard just to smash one in. Your luck is in. But it was he came on. It was 3-0 after about 50 minutes, and Liverpool almost, rather than kind of showboating with tricks, Liverpool almost showboated with their substitutes that night, because Jay Spearman comes on for Gerrard. Like, if that's not taking the piss, I don't know what is. And then
a lot of people don't know this, but I was actually due to come on that night, but an injury and someone else came on. But yeah, Jay Spearman made his debut, and what happened with Desena?
And then they take Torres off and bring on Desena as the ultimate piss take. He came on as an auxiliary left winger, you might say. Just basically, close it out. We're 3 up. Keep an eye on Wesley Sneijder. Don't do anything crazy. But he comes, I think it's about 5 minutes after he comes on. Mascherano plays him in, and he smashes it.
It's a lucky finish, though, isn't it?
It kind of goes through Casillas in a way.
Yeah.
And he must have had the same reaction I did, because it was just utter disbelief. It was like he didn't know how to celebrate almost. Mm-hmm. He couldn't believe it had happened.
But don't you think that he, like Rafa either got it spectacularly right with his signings, or like he literally had a habit of signing players that didn't look like they were professional. Like Nunes, Grandcamp, Yosemite. I'm not going to throw Babel in there, but I've seen his rap video. But to say that you're like, there's 4 players just off the top. I'm pulling it out of my arse, and are just, they never look like, forget about like top of the Premiership, European Cup. I'm talking like, if you saw them in the Irish League, you'd be thinking, geez, the Irish League's kind of slipping. Like, they genuinely looked awkward. Like, they had 2 left feet and they were falling over the ball. They had no control, nothing that would make a top, professional footballer. But like, Desena was the same, though, wasn't he? Like, other than that week.
The state is like, if I saw Desena falling out of a car before a Sunday League match as like an opposing player, I'd be happy. He kind of slumped over. I was like a hunchback. As you said, he did not look like a professional footballer. He didn't look like a professional anything. He looked like a bum almost.
Yeah.
But as we said, it was these 4 days, and 4 days later we have to go to Old Trafford in a huge game, and we go 1-0 down. It was Ronaldo penalty, and you fear the worst. You really do, and then we completely turn the game around.
That's one of the most underrated comebacks. Well, not comebacks because we're only a goal down, but in reaction that I can remember to, like, because Liverpool, they didn't stop playing their normal game when they went 1-0 down. Old Trafford was jumping. That basically would have been the league over, and Liverpool just kept on playing the way they were playing and turned the game around.
Yeah, and like, there was the majority, like I think there was probably 8 or 9 of the players that started against Madrid had to start that game, because it was must win. I mean, it was Arbeloa maybe and Alonso were the only 2 to miss out.
Yeah.
So they should have been bollocksed. So they go in 2-1, a half-time lead, and then the second half is kind of crazy. Vidic pulls down Gerrard, he gets sent off, and then there's our beautiful man Fabio Aurelio whipping one into the top corner to make it 3-1. And then again, it's like, let's take the piss, get him on. So Desena comes on again, and he's probably got a glint in his eye. He's thinking, geez, I'm left wing again. So in this, was it stoppage time, or was it?
It was stoppage time, yeah.
It was stoppage time, yeah. And Desena is he's hanging up top almost, and Reina just boots it up. The ball kind of bounces, and O'Shea kind of makes a hash of it. And it's Desena basically just one-on-one. The ball's kind of bouncing with Van der Sar comes out, and he just nonchalantly lobs it over him. And again, he's just got the bemused look of, I can't believe this. It's like John McClane in Die Hard 2.
He looks like Charlie when he found the golden ticket, basically. Like he's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what the
So
fuck? What do I do? Like he didn't even
yeah,
look like he knew how to celebrate.
yeah. It's like he was struck by lightning a couple of days ago, and he's after getting struck by lightning again.
He didn't even look Italian, you know. It's that like the saying of like he just looked like a bloke who worked in a warehouse. Like looked
Do you know
a
what?
little
Yeah,
bit overweight, shaved head.
Yeah, you know what? I'd say he probably worked out in the back stores of Igor Biscan's as hardware store.
Listen, as long as he's got a forklift license, I've got no problems with that.
I don't think they let him near the forklift.
All right. Well, who did you have for left back? You had
Jimmy.
Jimmy and the Saint on the left side. Yeah, okay, I've got no qualms with that. All right, who was on the other side?
On the right side, I have gone for Vladimir Smicer.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. So your cult 11 is a very good 11 for the most part. I mean, you've got like a man who won the treble in the centre back. You've got the man who scored the winning penalty in the Champions League. I've gone for a player who, in many ways, did nothing wrong in his Liverpool career, and still he was dropped. He'd score a hat-trick and then we drop him, and then eventually it was just like, sell him to whoever, just get him out of the club, and that is Mr. Maxi Rodriguez.
I did, I did. Yes,
I don't know what that man did to piss to piss Kenny off or to piss Rafa off. He don't get me wrong, he wasn't fucking, he wasn't Sadio Mane, but like he managed to just pop up with a lot of goals in a very short space of time. Got a hat-trick against Birmingham, got a lovely goal against got 2 goals at Stamford Bridge. He was just a good player. And
did he get a hat-trick against Fulham as well?
I think he did, actually. I think he has 2 hat-tricks to his name.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, I forgot about that. So, and those games were about like a month apart. So, yeah. But anyway,
it was kind of like a mad run we went on when Kenny took over.
Yeah,
we were thinking like
which got him the job.
Champions League qualifying is completely gone. But we kind of went on a mad run from kind of the February, start of March, where we nearly did it. And as you say, Maxi was a huge part in that. Like,
did you ever see the goal he got in the World Cup against Mexico?
Oh yeah, an absolute screamer.
We never saw that, Maxi. Don't get me wrong, but
no.
But
he probably came to us a little bit too late in his career.
He did, yeah. Apparently, he's still playing. He's 40 years old and he's playing in the 2nd division. I'm not even making that up. He's playing in the 2nd division in Argentina. So
probably still looks fitter than Andrea Docena.
Yeah, well, in fairness, yeah, that would be hard. So you've gone for Vladimir Smicer. Is it Smicer or Smicer? Because Anto Pine is a good mutual friend of ours. We went to Liverpool many moons ago before we realised that Smicer wasn't a great player, and we all thought, let's get names on the back of our jerseys and kind of not go for the obvious ones. The obvious ones at the time would have been Owen Fowler. Gerrard was kind of not even kind of breaking through here, and I got Berger. What can I say? I love the man's hair. I love the cut of his jib. And Anto decided to get Smicer. Well, I think it's pronounced Smicer, but the girl at the desk was just like it was like that scene in The Simpsons where Marge tries to order a coffee, and your man's like, yeah, and he just goes, "Can I get Smicer?" And she's like, "Smicer, Smicer, Smite." And I mean, if they had just said number 7, I think they would have, that would have. But this. I'm not going to say this went on for 20 minutes, but it went on a lot longer than it should have between 2 fairly intelligent adults. She was adamant it was Smicer, and Anto was saying Smicer. It is Smicer, though, yeah?
I've often thought it was Smicer. I've always thought it was Smicer.
Yeah.
I would say probably more well-educated than that girl working in the shop. I don't want to cast aspersions on her, but...
Well, that happened to be Vladimir Smicer's wife, so I mean, what does she know? What's your favorite? Yeah,
Anthony Pine is the man who got Jones too on the back of a jersey. So
that is true. I mean, he has got a checkered history with names on the back. But what's your favorite Smicer memory apart from Istanbul? Because it's like I said, he flirted the sea, didn't he?
That's it. It was just that. It was his last game. His last kick, he buried a pen up, and then walked off. He almost reefed the shirt off, didn't he? He was just gripping the crest. He gave it a big kiss.
I just wonder if Kuhl doesn't get injured in that final. Smeacher doesn't play, does he? Like, Smeacher does not get on that pitch.
No, he doesn't.
Like, he made no impression that season, if you think about it. Like, that was just, and he actually did nothing in that game apart from the goal that he got and the penalty. It's amazing that he lasted that long.
I think he was told. Was he told the day before or 2 days before that they weren't going to keep him on? So he knew that was his last contract. Or his last appearance.
But he got a great last-minute winner against Chelsea, if you remember, a couple of years ago. It was a great goal on a volley from the edge of the box, side-footed, at Anfield, like the 93rd minute, an absolute beauty.
Yes.
But it's just fair to say he just never. I think injuries and
injuries kind of at the start he was hampered by a lot of injuries.
So who would you have in their prime, Maxi or Vladi Smicer?
Oh, in their prime, Maxi Rodriguez. There's no argument there. No argument.
Fair enough. All right, in the middle, I went for Igor Bishkan, but we don't need to talk any more about Igor and his giant tackle. So in the middle, I've gone for a man who I love to bits for his first year. I really think he was underrated. Tons of energy. He had no attacking threat to him, and I think he literally never scored one goal in his Liverpool career. But he didn't put a foot wrong for about 6 months, and then he had a horrible injury in the Champions League that he nearly lost his eye, apparently. And that's Momo Sissoko. And his career, if you were to Wikipedia, it doesn't make for good viewing because he quickly kind of spiraled down the leagues, and I think he only retired about 20 minutes ago. Like, he's been playing forever, and he played for virtually every team you can think of. But you forget those first 6 months. He had tons of energy, and he was what Liverpool needed in that middle as well. Like, Gerrard was starting to play a little bit more advanced. Didi was kind of it was the last year of Didi's Liverpool career. We needed someone in there with lots of energy because Xabi was all right winning the ball back, but you needed someone who was just going to sit there all day and just try and win the ball back for you. And I know he was great, and he was never really the same. They made him wear those stupid goggles that footballers get. That it never seems to work. Like, look at Edgar Davids before and after he wore those goggles. Like, I can't imagine how hard it is to play football with goggles on you, like, 'cause that's what they are. They're not contact lenses. They're proper like skydiving goggles.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. Yeah, like, I mean, how do they not, like, do they steam up? Like, how? I don't know how you could actually play a game. And I have to agree, he's in my 11 as well. As you said, he was just that injury that finished him with Liverpool. He had a couple of standout performances after that, but he was absolutely flying up to that. Like, if you remember 2007 against Barcelona, he was absolutely excellent when we got to the final. And then he went, was it Juventus? He went to Juventus, which was like...
Juventus, but I think that was Juventus when they were like, they'd been relegated for match fixing, so they were kind of like just getting back on their feet.
Exactly, So, he's in there for me as well. And he kind of, Mascherano signed, we got Mascherano then the following year, well, about a year and a half after. And Mascherano kind of, it was
just an upgrade straight away.
Top, exactly. And the injury, and then you get Mascherano in. That was that was it. But he never, as you said, he never shied away from the tackle. He'd leave the field with like the chalk on his head. All over him. He just worked his bollocks off.
Love me some Momo.
He's a definite cult hero.
All right, and Momo is in the middle of the field with...
He's in the middle of the field on mine with probably the biggest cult hero. He's up there for me with one of the guys I have up top, and that's Lucas Leiva, because he's probably one of the most criticised Liverpool players ever, and that's from his own fans to fans of opposing teams. There's no denying Lucas. He's definitely polarised opinions.
I can't deny how much I hated him when Roy Hodgson was in charge.
Yeah, but I had a big dislike for a lot of Liverpool players then. And probably
I hated myself.
It was a dark time.
Yeah, but he just wasn't quick enough. He couldn't really have any kind of range or pass. I was having post Alonso this syndrome. It was like everything reminded me of Xabi. It was just like I want Jobby back, and people were saying you got to move on. He's obviously never going to come back. He's gone off to bigger and better things. It's like, all right, well, what have you got for me? Well, see that lad over there on the bench, the Italian lad who's fixing his hair and is never going to be fit. All right, who else have we got? Well, we got this lad from Brazil who has none of the trademarks of a Brazilian player, and I just thought we're fucked, and we were fucked for a good 18 months, and then I think somewhere along the lines, someone had the idea of let's just let Lucas sit there, and he was a great utility man. Like but do you remember the night he played at centre back? This was last year, I think, and he played centre back against Harry Kane.
Yeah,
had a great game.
He was immaculate. Yeah, he was immaculate. But like you kind of forget that when you, like, we bought him from Gremio, and when he signed for us. Like I had kind of, the deal was done probably about 6 months before, wasn't it? And you had time to kind of, YouTube was a thing back then. It obviously wasn't as big as it was now. And, in hindsight, looking at someone's YouTube highlights is just,
not a good idea,
it's a death knell almost. But back then, all the talk was he was a box-to-box midfielder. I think he might have been the player of the year in the Brazilian league just before he came to us. And as I said, like, it's YouTube highlights, but he was all action, and I was very, very excited. But then we saw him, and it was just like that's not what we saw. He's kind of like,
if there was ever a man as well who shouldn't have long hair.
Yeah, he did that. He does not suit long hair. As you said, you're talking. You've got the long hair. You're playing in the realms of Patrick Berger. That's what a man with long hair should look like. Yeah. And
where do you stand on man buns in general?
Let's do a separate podcast on man buns.
But this is the separate podcast. This is part 2. Because we're going to have to make peace with it, because the new kid on the block, Elliot,
I know
has a hideous one.
Yeah, it's got to go. It's got to go.
That wasn't a thing until 5 years ago, was it? I don't remember my childhood ever seeing a man bun.
Why is it still a thing?
It just looks like the sheer mechanics of it are mind-boggling, though, because you can't, like, it just looks inconvenient. Like, I mean, and you have to have a beard. Like if you have a man bun, it's like they literally won't let you leave your house unless you have some sort of facial hair. And I don't know.
But it's just a pure. I don't like. It's not even like there's no function behind it. It's not going up into a man bun because it's too long and it's going into your eyes. It's just a pure out and out statement. And
don't you just hate the lads who have long hair and like take the ponytail down? I'm not just saying this because I'm jealous, but they take it down in public and then just to do it up again. Like, it's like if they do it back up exactly the same way as it was, and it's like, was that for us? Like, I mean, first of all, you could have done that in the jacks, but like it's just like they're showing up, or the lads who like flick the fringe, but it just falls straight back to where it was, and it's like, I think this is for us. I think this is a show.
It is. It's Peacock, and it's the guys in the changing rooms walking around for 40 minutes naked. They're the same. They're one and the same. But
the thing about the naked locker room thing is, like, if it's your teammate over the course of the season, you're going to be like, I'm well accustomed to his balls at this stage. Like, I know, I've seen that. Like, this is his thing. We're teammates. We live and die on the pitch, and we're just going to see each other's cocks from time to time. But what I can't understand is when you go to a gym and a stranger just comes, like, goes to the shower with the towel over their shoulder. It's like, mate, what are you doing there? That's counterproductive. Like, that's what the towel is for. And it's like, even if you've got like a fantastic arse or a great cock, you don't walk around like that, like bolloco. It just. And look, I'm not going, like, great arses and big cock. That's for part 2 of the podcast. But like, I don't understand that kind of thinking of some blokes have is like, just no bothers. It's like, I don't know these lads. It's like, but at the same time,
they need to see. I don't know. Yeah, they want us to see their results. They've been working hard in the gym for months.
But I already saw it.
We can see it under the tight t-shirt, and we can see it, for the first 5 minutes that you strutted around.
Exactly, yeah.
We're getting to the point now where it's very uncomfortable. But let's go back to Lucas.
Yeah, let's go back to Lucas's cock. No, like, Lucas Leiva is a cult hero because he went to Lazio and got
They
their player.
love him there.
Yeah, and they gave him player of the year.
Absolutely love him.
I think they
yeah.
gave him player of the year before he even started playing for them. They're just like, we just love this lad. We know he's going to be.
But he's a pure, like, he's one of these who just, when he signed for Liverpool, he was all in. And he's like, you know, if you see his young lad's like a proper scouser now as well. Did you see the video of his young lad celebrating the Champions League final? He's just running around screaming. It's proper. It's really heartwarming. But you know, he was very, like, don't get me wrong, he was hugely frustrating at times. Like, he'd give away stupid fouls at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
Lose possession. Do you remember? I remember him getting booed at Anfield where he came off as a sub, and that was awful. But at the time, I
thought we didn't do the stuff like that. I thought that was just Arsenal and a booey.
I remember it at Anfield happened to Lucas once. But you know, he didn't. You know, he just rolled his sleeves up and just rolled with the punches every fucking time, and he just got on with it. And he just, like, you know, Klopp. You could tell that Klopp loved him as well. But it got to the stage where, you know, he couldn't play him, and he just, you know, I'm sure Klopp even knew how good an opportunity Lazio was for him. You said the minute he joined Lazio, they just talked to him, and they love him there now. I mean, he won a Coppa Italia. I think he's won 2 Super Cups with them now as well.
Well, Lazio are going for the league this year. Like, a lot of people forget that. Like what a story that would be.
It'd be incredible. And he's a huge part of that as well. You could argue, maybe the Italian league suits his game more, but, you know, you still have to fucking do it, and he does it. Yeah. He surprised me that he's gone on to play at that level so consistently, considering where he is in his career.
So I know you put Igor in the back line. So if we're going to pick 2 central midfielders, I think we both agree Momo's got to be in there. Is Momo Sissoko in there?
Mo's in there.
Okay, and in beside him, we're putting either Lucas or Bishkan.
Look, you're the boss here. I'll leave it up to you.
All right, let's put Lucas Bishkan in there. Okay, up front, we're almost done. This feels like the easy part because there's so many, let's be honest, shit but lovable Liverpool strikers in the Premiership era. So who's your first choice?
Well, my first choice is, you know, very much in the here and now, but you know, the memories are still fresh in our minds. With Divock Origi, I don't think there might be an argument from you there, but, you know, Origi's got to be in there for me as far as cult heroes go, because you know, he does have the element of comedy. He's definitely underappreciated.
You see the thing, I don't really get that. I don't get that though. I think because I think he was on fire. People forget how good he was until he broke his ankle in the Merseyside derby. He was legitimately, that word, Liverpool's first choice striker. Benteke it wasn't going to happen for him. Firmino, we just didn't know what Firmino was at this stage. And up front, that was kind of it. And it was just like, well, yeah, Origi is our first choice striker. And then when he came back, it was never really the same for him. He had another little flurry. And then once Salah came and he was sent off on loan, and that was a disaster. And then the fact that he came back and got that mental goal against Everton, I think that adds to the comedy factor. If he had scored a volley, like he'd be thinking, hang on a second, this lad's a player. But he scores a goal that I think when you see a goal at the highest level that you could score, that's like all of a sudden there's comedy value to it. It's just like you don't see them as a professional. It's not his fault. If anything, like, he was the only player, including the Everton defenders, who followed that ball in. And then what happened. His performance against Barcelona. We talked about this last week, and I gotta be honest. I kind of see it, but I don't get the whole. For me, he's a legitimate striker, and I think when we eventually do sell him, which will probably be at the end of this season, whenever this season ends in 2026, I think we're going to get a pretty decent fee for him because he's still only 24, I think.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, I remember him like in the 2014 World Cup, I think now, where he went with Belgium, and and he was really, really highly thought of. So he would have been, about 18, 19 then. So when we signed him, I was delighted with that, because I thought this is kind of new up and coming superstar. And as you say, he started off well, and then he had that ankle break, which was like absolutely. Was it Funes Mori that did that?
Yeah.
Absolutely disgraceful.
I tell you one thing: if we had won the league last year, because he got the goal in the last minute against Newcastle away, as well as what.
Yeah,
so that was that. You talk about the week that the Sena had. Can you imagine? Because people forget that as well. He got the last minute winner against Newcastle in what we thought was like, this is it, boys. All we need is Leicester to do something tomorrow, a draw, and we're going to beat Wolves in the last game, and we're going to win the league with 97 points. We didn't. If we had have won that and the European Cup, imagine that in the same season, and Divock Origi scores 2 in the Barcelona semi, 1 in the final, and then essentially the goal that clinches the league title. There'd be there's no comedy
that's
there,
statue
mate.
Time. No, that's statue time. That's statue time. And I remember, like, the Newcastle goal was at the time, we thought it was absolutely massive, because we watched it. We were in Prague, so I was sat probably 2 yards away from Antopine, and we just had a horrible, horrible feeling the whole game. We just didn't think it was going to happen at all. Now, bear in mind, we've been out since probably 2:00 that day.
Yeah.
This was a 8:30 kickoff, I think it was, Prague time, 9:00 kickoff probably. But you said it didn't look like it was going to happen. It really didn't. Since after Newcastle got the equaliser, you just thought that was it. And Origi pops up with that goal, which was huge. And then the next day, City go, you think Leicester are going to do something, and then Company scores that absolute screamer.
Bastard.
And you could be the whole team probably should have been completely deflated after that, watching that at home. And then they go out 2 days. That was the Monday, wasn't it? And then they go out 2 days later. No, we were the Tuesday, the next night.
Yeah, we played 24 hours later after basically after saying goodbye to the league.
Yeah, when we go out and do that. And I think they were his first and second Champions League goals as well. So if you're going to get your first and second Champions League goals, what a way to do it.
Yeah.
And I think he's the only the second Belgian to ever score in a Champions League final as well. I think Carrasco was the first, which is like, you think of some of the quality Belgian players they've had over the years, like that's not an easy feat either. I'm kind of talking myself out of having him in as a cult.
Well, you know what, though? I'm looking at who I chose, and I realise he's not a cult favourite. I just think he was just harshly treated. I went for Robbie Keane. And people, you look at the record, it doesn't look great. But at the same time, I think it was 16 appearances or 17 appearances in all competitions and 5 goals in all competitions, which is just over 1 in 3, which again is not great, but I mean, you think about like what Varanen was there for 2 years, Gog was there for 3 or 4 years. We even gave Eric Moyer, who never scored, 1 year. We gave we gave El Hadji Diouf 2 full seasons. Like, I mean, let the man finish what he started. Like, I mean, it's like your mate saying to you, I'm going to try and pull that stunner over there. And you're like, mate, you stay here at this level. You're never going to make it over there. And he goes over and
lets his ponytail down.
After 25 minutes, he's not doing well. He's not doing terribly, but you decide to drag him away from the girl. And it's like, at least let him finish chatting her up. Like, we don't know what could have happened there. And, I mean, I don't think he's cult though. So I think I'm gonna go for Divock on basically the argument that you tried to talk yourself out, but we'll put him back in before we put him back out before it's too late. All right, so the last choice then is the interesting one, because I know we definitely don't have the same one on this, so go for it.
Well, look, as I said when I was talking about Lucas, he was probably one of, if not the most, I would say, cultish Liverpool players, or the polarised opinion, but this guy's up there for me, and it's Dirk Kuyt.
Wow. I did not see that coming. I thought you were going TT.
No. You're gone. Yeah, as I said, you're going completely David Koresh cult.
all right.
I'm kind of keeping it. I'm kind of keeping it somewhere down the middle with kind of underappreciated. I tried to weigh up a couple of things. Underappreciated, undervalued with a bit of comedy. Dirk gave us some comedy moments as well.
But the thing is,
look at the head in him.
He looks like a horse, but Dirk Cow played on the wing because he couldn't make, like, and that's the thing that's easy to forget now. He was a prolific goal scorer with 1 and 2 goals in the Dutch league. He had essentially the same record as Van Nistelrooy, and it just after 4 months or less, we were just like, this lad can't score, and but he never stops running. He knows how to tackle. Let's stick him on the wing, and he was a revelation. I mean, he did the job.
He never really had a bad game as well. He was like, he was always like a 7 minimum.
Well, I tell you what, hear my choice out, and because I think I've pulled a cracker here. I've gone for.
That's because we let you stay. We let you stay chatting her up.
Well, you see what happens. I'm going to take her home, but I again, I'm going to go for a man who Istanbul wouldn't have happened without him, and that is Mr. Cinema Pongolle. So basically, the Olympiacos game. I don't think Cinema Pongolle played in the knockouts at all. I'm pretty sure he didn't actually. But that Olympiacos game, Liverpool need to win by 2 goals. We're a goal down, and we're not really going anywhere in particular. And he gets the first, and Liverpool have to score in the first 5 minutes of that second half, considering they need 3. And they did, and it's down to him. And he was just a live wire when he came on in games. And I remember I was in Ibiza on a holiday, and this is years ago. This is back when you just believed everything you read in the newspapers. And we got this news report that Liverpool had just signed the 2 best players of the under 18 French team. And at the time, this is 2002, so France were just like shit hot at the time, and Houllier had his French connections there. And we're just thinking, all right, there we go. Because we're thinking, okay, well, worst case scenario, one of them is going to be world class. But let's be honest, lads, both of them are going to be world class. And the other was Anthony Latalik, who, I mean, was just terrible. But Pongolle, he just had some great moments for us. He scored a couple of winners. He got the winner against Southampton in that first season under Rafa. He got a great goal against Real Betis after 40 seconds in a Champions League group game the next year. And I remember we played Man United at Anfield, and he came on and completely changed the game. Still lost the game. But he came on and he was just full of energy. He wasn't great, obviously. He went on to play in Dundee, I think, in the Thai League. But he had a habit of coming on, and just his enthusiasm ended up, I don't know, rubbing off in the team. And we ended up, I don't know, stepping it up a gear. But you've gone for Dirk Cow. Dirk Cow, let's be honest, Dirk Cow's not cool. Dirk Cow's just a great Liverpool player.
Yeah, look, I would probably go with you on that. He kind of had that, like he was frustrating at times as well. Well, a lot of times he was, and he always looked like he'd always, if there was something where you had to use your left foot, he'd elect to just use the outside of his right foot.
That's right.
He just seemed to play solely with his right foot.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, any goal he scored seemed to be hugely important as well. I remember the 2 penalties he scored against Everton. Do you remember the Merseyside derby?
Right. Remember Man City away?
Man City away, the 3-2. I actually did the Merseyside derby one. I missed the winning penalty because I was in Madrid on a work thing, and I was watching the game in the hotel room, but we had to leave. There was a bus waiting outside, so we had to leave to go do the tour of the Bernabeu. So it was 1-1 at this stage.
Right.
The match was ticking into injury time, or very close to the end, and I'd kind of pushed it out. I could hear the bus beeping outside as well. I pushed it as long as I could, so I had to leave. So in my mind, it was 1-1, and it had finished 1-1. I got on the bus. Someone mentioned about the penalty. Cow had scored. I said, it was a great penalty, wasn't it? And I said, yeah. And I said, look, we'll take the draw. He said, what do you mean draw? Talking about the winning penalty. And I was like, what winning penalty? He'd explain to me that he got it. I think was it Phil Neville who handled it?
That's Gerrard right, and got sent off. Lucas took a shot. Believe it or not, Gerrard was on the bench.
Phil Neville was probably better off letting that go wherever it was going to go, because and Cow had the penalty. Do you remember the penalty in like the 197th minute against Arsenal?
That's right, yeah.
Where Kelly told Arsene Wenger to fuck off.
That's right.
Glorious. Right. But Yeah. Again, another one. The more I think about it, the more I talk about it, I'm probably talking about it being cult because he was he was brilliant. He was just brilliant.
Yeah, cult is Eric Moore and TT Camera, but we were trying to be smart arses and kind of beat around the bush, but it's Eric Moore and TT Camera. All right, so I think we agree for most of that cult 11. Although you picked a suspiciously strong. You just kept picking legends. You were picking like Champions League winners and World Cup finalists and just saying they were cult. So I don't know about that. But
cult midfield of Steven Gerrard, Xabi Alonso.
I know he's called King Kenny, but I think that was more of an ironic kind of like old nickname. So I decided to sing King Kenny and Roger Hunt up there. All right, Stewie, as ever, an absolute star. You played a blinder, and hopefully one of these days we'll do a podcast where we're actually talking about football in the present tense. But until then, see you next time.